In my teaser, I talked about the interesting fight which is brewing between three of the tech giants, and these are Google, Microsoft, and Amazon. And some of you, in fact, Mahesh, you guessed it right, because the fight has cloud at the center of it. So cloud is the reason they are fighting, though they keep fighting in various other areas also. But this fight between these tech giants in the cloud domain is so intense, so interesting, that all of the IT integrators are part of it. So how is that taking place? Why it is so important? I will tell everything about this. So as I said in my earlier discussions, we are not here just to review the company, but to give you insights on various other aspects which are taking place in the industry and which are not visible from the developer point of view. They are only seen when you grow up in the ladder and you understand these things up close. So let's understand. I'll show you some numbers and why these numbers are so interesting, and also these numbers tell you what is at stake. So let's go ahead and see. So if you look at Microsoft since 2014, it is up over 27 times. So it is up over 7 times since 2014. And if you look at the growth from 2014 over here, you will see I have taken a cutoff date kind of thing. In 2014, the Microsoft share was around 41. Now this is ranging or it is trading around 2 or 300 level. So it is over 7 times comfortably. And if you look at it, why I took the 2014 cutoff date, because 2013, 14, 15 was the time when cloud really took over the world. So it really made its place, and people started taking cloud very seriously. So if we look at Microsoft cloud growth since 2014-15, you see that it was about 5.46 billion every quarter in Q1 15, but it is right now around over $17 billion each quarter. Please remember, Microsoft Azure cloud revenues are not directly comparable to any other cloud provider, because it is the intelligent cloud segment, and they package few other products in the intelligent cloud segment. But this tells you about it has grown over 300% in last 4-5 years or 6 years. Now if we look at Amazon is even a bigger case over here. In 2014, Amazon was around 331, which means now it is over 10 times since 2014. So as I said, the cutoff date, if we assume around 2013 and 14, probably you will see the kind of growth it has gained over last 4, 5, 6 years. Now you understand the importance and significance of why this fight is so interesting. Now we should not skip this. So let us look at the numbers of Amazon since 2014. In 2014, Amazon was clocking around $1 billion each quarter, which is about $14 billion each quarter now, 13 and $14 billion each quarter now. What that means is it has grown 13 times from the 2014 in terms of revenue each quarter. So now they are around $50 per year in terms of revenue. So it's quite a remarkable growth Amazon has seen since 2014. So let's talk about the latecomer. They are not latecomer in the cloud domain, but they gave it the required attention only in 2016, 17 or probably 18. And they when they started giving it attention which it deserved, I think Korean took over in 2018 or 19 somewhere. They really got the momentum, and for this company Google, we have assumed the cutoff date somewhere around 2018 and 19. So if you look at this, it has grown 3 times. The share prices has gone up 3 times from this level. 2020 was the crucial year for Google, because in 2020 they posted the market beating results from Google Cloud. from about 2 to 3 billion dollars each quarter, which was around 8 billion dollars, they are now doing exceedingly well, and reaching around 17-18 billions in annual run rate, cloud run rate in terms of revenue. So now you see the growth from 4 billion in 2017 yearly, they are around 13 billion in 2020, and they are going to be around 18 billion in 2021. That's a remarkable growth, which has put and or brought Google at par with the rest of the two players, which is Azure as well as Amazon. Now, if you look at the cumulative figures, so Microsoft Cloud is at $70 billion annually right now, which because of other products also. So we have no way to really find the Azure numbers only, but we are hoping they are less than Amazon at the moment. And if you look at Amazon numbers, they are $50 billion at the current rate, and they are growing about 30-35% annually, which is a big growth. And if you look at Google Cloud, it is growing over 50-55%, so easily they will reach over 16 billion. So I am assuming they should reach around 18 billion easily. Now we come back to the other side of the story. So let us look at the Accenture IT services companies like Accenture, TCS, Wipro, Infosys, their overall market and their revenue trend. Accenture is around $46 billion in annual revenue. TCS is about $23-24 billion in annual revenue. Infosys is about 13 and 14 billion in revenue. Cognizant is around 18, and Capgemini is also around $18 billion. But what happens is, when you look at these numbers, you have to understand around 50-60% of these numbers for Accenture, around 50-60% for TCS, or 60% or 55-65%. This is the normal range for digital business for all IT companies. What that means is, whatever business they are doing for their clients, cloud is at the heart of it, because digital transformation itself means the cloud transformation or cloud enablement. Now, an interesting fact, probably some of you might be aware or some of you might not be aware. See, Microsoft, Amazon or Google, they don't directly solve the customer problem, okay, or the enterprise problem. They make the products, but it is ultimately an integration layer which is led by Accenture or TCS kind of. So they interact with various industries, clients, whether it is BFSI, telecom, media, banking, or probably any other sector, you name it. So they work globally in every sector: industrial, manufacturing, healthcare, telecom, BFSI, you name it. They are present everywhere: aviation, travel, tourism. So they are everywhere. So that means they have the subject matter knowledge of the kind of problems these businesses face. What they need is the backing of the large hyperscaler. So what they do is they work with every cloud provider, whether it is Azure, AWS and Google Cloud. Right now the trend which I have been seeing is they set up a COE, a dedicated COE for their respective hyperscaler, which is their cloud provider, Azure COE, AWS COE or Google Cloud COE. These kinds of business units they set up in every company, and these business units drive growth and momentum for the integration providers, which is these IT services companies. Now the fight is about, why do Microsoft, Google and Amazon want to fight this battle? Because they know these SMEs, these integration channel partners, they suggest on various technology trends to these other industries which are not technology oriented. So an industrial customer need an assistance from these IT services companies. So most of the time whatever they recommend, normally the industrial segment or any other client would go by their recommendation and they choose the preferred channel. So what these Microsoft, Google and Amazon are pushing these IT services companies is when they are solving the business problems of various non-tech companies, probably they should prefer their platform over any other platform, and that is an intense fight. So what they do is they build partnership, they approach these customers together, they also subsidize these initiatives, so they look better in comparison with the other cloud provider. That is what makes this whole fight interesting. So now we understand why Amazon or Azure or AWS needs Accenture, TCS and the likes of it. I hope you found this discussion easy to understand, easy to relate, and probably some insights also.